to Tech Talks. My name is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of Philly Tech, and it's so great to be back in studio. No more Zooms. This is phenomenal. So I'm so excited today. I have got the Wolf. He goes by the Wolf. Andrew T. Wolfington. He is the co-founder and president of Vigit Technologies, a sports media and betting app that's going to take over the planet, right? It's basically going to take over the planet. Good to have you here.
Good to have you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's great to have you. So really, really exciting, right, to be back in studio. I've got a tremendous co-founder here of a really early stage company. Again, Vigit Technologies. Go download the app right now on the App Store. I have it on my phone. It's phenomenal. So I've been working with Andrew actually for a few weeks, right? Early stage company in a seed stage, looking to get funding and then looking to put it on the map and make it big time in the sports betting world, and also really revolutionizing sports betting and social media. So it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. So tell the audience a little bit about your background, what'd you do, before you started Vigit. Tell the audience what happened there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So my personal background, after I finished school, I got into the automobile industry, which my family has a background in, and I was actually living and working down in Miami, Florida. Then I moved back up to Baltimore, at which point I got into the e-discovery fields and eventually transitioned back here to Philadelphia, where I worked in commercial real estate for a local shop called the Flynn Company, and I actually worked on their office products in South Jersey.
Nice.
So I've always been into tech, big early tech adopter, always following different beats, also a huge sports fan, and I always kind of wanted to get into this industry. So when I moved in with one of my co-founders, Joe Barba, he has 10 years of tech startup experience. His company was a company called Laborosity, which was on demand for labor. So let's say if you needed movers, painters, or any type of odd job similar to the company TaskRabbit, you could order it right on your phone.
Right.
So we partnered with him, and we were both being sports fans. We were following the repeal of PASPA by the Supreme Court back in May 2018, and we started doing our homework. And essentially, what we started putting pen to paper. We developed white papers, and we started talking to industry experts in the industry and C-suite executives. So my father has 30 years experience in the casino industry. We're able to leverage that to get meetings and figure out what the pain points were. And then we went to industry events, and we found out that there was a real pain point for the incumbent operators in getting millennials and Gen Zers on their platforms, and,
right.
and really just a resistance to change and prioritizing mobile and online distribution channels as part of gambling and casino companies' major outreach. And then we were fortunate and partnered with our third co-founder, Sean Lindsay, who was a developer with Comcast. And he had been working on a sports betting social network over the past 8 years that was web-based called capsports.com. So we met up with him, decided to join teams. We ended up acquiring capsports.com, and we maintained a lot of the back-end features and gave it a facelift and made it a mobile-first company. And that's how we ended up with Vigit.
Nice, nice. So in terms of that idea, right? So when in that process, who actually, give the credit, if the credit's yours or somebody else, who came up with the idea? How was the idea germinated?
Yeah, so the original concept, which was the brainchild of one of our co-founders, Joe Barba, was Venmo for sports betting. So it was the idea of being able to bet your friend and send him money right over the application. And then as we continued to learn the industry, try to figure out our product market fit and realize where the best opportunity really was, and with the acquisition of Cap Sports, we realized that there was this huge need for centralization and aggregation of all this sports data, whether it's player updates, like one player is possibly going to start or he's not going to play, aggregating all the player stats and being able to compare their offensive and defensive stats over the past 5 games, possibly even against the spread, and the public money versus the public picks. And this need for an interactive community where you can engage with your friends, engage with industry experts, engage with people who can give you sports betting advice, so that the end consumer can make confident and concise decisions. And that's where it really kind of started to evolve and take on the shape of what essentially is an ecosystem for the entire sports entertainment industry centered around the sports betting experience.
Right. So in terms of the product, you had mentioned some of the things about the product. Tell the audience a little bit about what the product is, right? So what's in the product? What are the core, in any software product, obviously there's core features and then there's differentiation, right, in the market. So what are those core things, kind of table stake things, and what's the differentiation that you see in your product?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, it's the interactive sports betting community. So just like Facebook, we have an endless live feed that relies on user-generated content. So you can go in, you can make a post, your friends can like or comment on your post, and recently we have an update coming out where you will be able to upload pictures and video. So the live feed will feel a lot more like Instagram. Right. Then we have our peer-to-peer social gamified features like our peer-to-peer sports betting. We have a bet tracker so you can aggregate and track all your action that you have with the sports books. We have a variety of free-to-play games like our weekly NFL Pick'em or back when basketball was still in season, and they actually just announced that it's likely to come back in July. Our daily basketball Pick'em for both NCAA and NBA. So these more peer-to-peer oriented social games.
Nice.
Then we aggregate real-time odds, news, analytics, and advice, so that way you can, just like a day trader breaks down the financial markets to be able to make an educated decision, you can do the same thing with sports. At the end of the day, a sports book is just a market where there's buyers and sellers, takers and makers. So what we've done is take these age-old principles of analyzing markets in order to give you an edge and have applied them in one central convenient location that just happens to be right on your phone, to allow you to become a better sports bettor and essentially earn more money by beating the books.
Right.
And then finally, our last update that's scheduled to come out in July is a marketplace for sports. So if you're sitting there and you're betting on a game, a sports line is just a product, right? That is being sold by the sports books themselves. So if we're collecting all this data, so if I know you like to bet on the Philadelphia Eagles, the odds are you probably want to buy a Carson Wentz jersey, or you probably will want to buy 2 tickets to the Eagles-Giants game, or you may, if you're at a market or you're a cord cutter like myself, you probably would even pay to be able to stream the game right on your phone and use your Google Chrome to display it right on your TV. And we even see it getting to the point where we have a smart TV app where you would be able to stream the games right there on the app, and we put betting overlays. So you could have chats with your friends on one side, you could see the line movements going down on the ticker on the bottom. We're really heightening the fan engagement aspect to sports entertainment and sports betting.
So walk me through again, you covered a lot there, right? So in terms of the value prop for the user, right, of the user. So what would you say are the top 3 to 5 things that give the most value? I'm assuming when I join, I create a page, right? Like I create some type of page, right? So user comes in, give the audience an understanding of how it works, right? So they come in, do they create a page, and then what would you say are the really key most valuable things for them, like the 3 to 5 biggest values?
Yeah, absolutely. So you go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, you type in VIGIT into the search button, and you download the Vigit app. We'll collect some of the standard user registration data, and then it automatically creates your profile for you, just like you have a Facebook page, an Instagram account, and then you start following your friends and following content creators who provide sports betting content. You can then bet your friends with our peer-to-peer sports betting feature, or you can send a bet to one of our sportsbook partners like DraftKings, and it aggregates all that and tracks it right on your phone. You can break down the data to give you an edge. So you can look at the Eagles-Giants matchup, and you can see that the majority of people are picking the Eagles, but the smart money may be on the Giants. So you'll see, even though 70% of the population on a per pick basis is picking the Giants, from a monetary perspective, 65 or 75% of the money may be on the Giants. So what does that disparity mean, and how can you use it to your advantage? And then finally, we create the best marketplace for sports. So you can place a bet, and with your winnings, you can go and buy your favorite player's jersey. You can get a gift card to Amazon. You can get tickets to the game, etc.
Yeah. So I'm curious, I'm actually curious of how do you get the data, right? So you have user-generated data, you said. Is it all user-generated, where you have, again, some really good guys on your platform that are generating great content, giving advice, right, that type of thing? Or is there any third-party data that you bring in too?
Yeah, so originally we used a local data supply company out of Conshohocken called Sports Data.io, but so there's two perspectives. There's the content, which is user generated. So our users create their account, and they either make a post a video or a picture, or they copy a link of their favorite article, and we can post it that way to share with their friends. So that's strictly user generated, where our competitors rely on expensive content teams. Yeah. And then there's the sports data that our users break down. And while we originally used sports.data.io, what we essentially realized is that most of our people like breaking down the pregame data. So while we do report scores as they're happening, there's a 60-second delay where you can get up to the second data. But we have a team of data entry specialists in both the Ukraine and the Philippines that are essentially working around the clock, filling in what are glorified Excel spreadsheets. We have a data portal that kind of allows them to do that. But they're just plugging away, and we take that data, we aggregate it, and that's very much a proprietary aspect of our platform.
Yeah, because I'm curious, right? Remember, if everybody remembers, I'm 46. I remember when E-Trade came out, right? So I'm wondering, what I'm always curious of, are you going to give people the tools to actually build algorithms? So in E-Trade and Charles Schwab, it's I'm curious about that feature. I'm sure it's coming down the road, but are you going to give people the ability to create their own models to okay, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this, right? Is that going to happen? That's really cool.
Yeah, no, so I'm glad you asked that. So we've kicked that around. That's honestly the best part of my job currently, is we have these, what we call think tank meetings, right, where we just sit around for an afternoon and we think about where could this technology really go.
Probably with beer.
Yeah, right, exactly. But the fact of the matter is that the sports entertainment and sports space, and especially sports betting, really hasn't been disrupted. And I know disruption's an overused word in the tech community, but and I always relate it back to my experience in commercial real estate. Back in 2015, there was a huge movement for smart property and softwares that came out and help you manage your deal flow. And there was all this tech getting into the real estate, especially commercial real estate market, because the fact of the matter is, up until 2012, a lot of deals were still getting done on paper. There was a lot of paper, moving paper around, and you saw tech come in and create a lot of efficiency in the entire industry. And I saw this same opportunity in sports betting, and so did Joe Barba and Sean Lindsay. So basically, with the tech aspect of it, we saw the opportunity.
Cool. So guys, come on back in a few minutes. This is super exciting, right? There is absolute competitive advantage here that I'm recognizing, that I see. I've always thought, how do I get in on the people that are building these massive macro spreadsheets that I know are actually out there? How do I do that myself? Right? Really curious about the data, about the app and the value and the future of sports betting and social media. So come on back in a few minutes. Thanks.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want.
I want a home.
I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Hello everyone, I'm Mark Iorio. I'm the host of Rainmakers Roundup right here on RVN TV. The show is about looking for people who are in competitive businesses that are doing something different and unique in the world of sales and marketing. Join me right here on Rainmakers Roundup on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. and then again on Thursday evenings at 6:30 p.m. right here on RVN TV.
Today's show is sponsored by Dr. Jacqueline. Take charge of your life personally, financially, and professionally. Visit drjacqueline.com to book an appointment today.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Tech Talks. My name is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of Philly Tech, and your host for Tech Talks. It's every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. I'm so excited to be back here with a person, with an actual person talking. It's phenomenal. I got the wolf, they call him the wolf, Andrew Wolfington. So we're talking about data, right? And a lot of times these days, when I'm talking to software companies, they are differentiating with data, right? Mm-hmm. The data that they build, it's hugely differentiated. So let's continue on that topic around your differentiation and where you see with this, what's happening with this think tank. Where do you think this is going with that, that ability to create your own algorithms, ability to get the data, maybe subscribe to other people's algorithms, right? That are there, that type of thing.
Yeah, so if we play the tape to the end, like where could this really go? It could get to the point where if we chose to go down this route, we could create, our platform could be open source, and we could allow people to create their own algorithms and come up with their own way of collecting data, analyzing it, breaking it down. And then we already track picks, so we can follow someone and say, hey, this person is a winner, their picks hit 51% of the time. Because the misconception is, if you, in betting on sports, if you're hitting between 50 and 60% of the time, you're killing it. You're making a lot of money, and that's considered really good. The fact of the matter is most people lose. That's why sports books are in business. So if you can hit in between that 50 to 60% range, you're doing very well. But there is two sides to the coin. On one side, it's like, oh, hey, you can create all these different algorithms and you can sell them on a platform and analyze and break down this data, and that would be great. But the fact of the matter is, the people who are hitting all the time, they don't want to give away their secret sauce.
Sure.
And there's an old stigma in the handicapper industry where they're just, for lack of a better word, snake oil salesmen, where they're just selling you blank picks and it might hit, it may not. It's a flip of a coin. Because the reality is, if you really have a competitive advantage and you have an algorithm or a formula that consistently makes you 50 to 60% week in and week out, you don't want other people to know about it. You want to take all their money.
Yeah, and I think my opinion on this, and many times in the show I don't have opinions, but I have an opinion on this, is we're in an open world these days, right? Everybody wants to know everything, right? Basically, closed markets are meant to be disrupted. However, like, you want to talk to the people, right, and say, you don't just go in a vacuum and disrupt them without telling them kind of, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. What do you guys think? This looks good. That where it's like they're meant to be disrupted. Anything that's closed, where it's like people doing it themselves, it needs to be disrupted. So it's a great market to be in because, again, nobody's really disrupting this market. So talk about kind of the future, the vision. Where do you see yourself going? Because I know right now you're finalizing a round, right?
Yep.
So you're early stage. So tell the audience where you are now. I think it'd be good to understand the challenges with that and where you are now, what your goals are, and talk about your vision for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So in our first series of fundraising, we raised $850,000, and with that, we essentially developed our what we call our maximal viable product, and we got that to both the Apple and the Google Play stores, so that way you could have them on either an Android or an Apple phone.
Yeah.
And we focused on building out the what we're really doing is creating this interactive community and this network. And there's what we've identified as 4 major aspects. So in our first NFL season in 2019, we focused on sports fans and bettors, and we focused on the sports books. So we went out and got partnerships with PointsBet, DraftKings, BetRivers is a big one right here located in Center City, Philadelphia. And then we went out and we targeted sports fans and bettors and our user base mostly consists of millennials and Gen Zers. And what we've ultimately done is established a proven track record of success in being able to acquire casual sports fans and convert them into actual sports bettors. And that's where there is a paradigm to our platform where we are both a B2B and B2C company.
Nice. So in terms of that user, right? So right now it's like you've actually been in business doing this for a while, right? Since when did you actually start? When did the product get actually launched?
So Vigit was incorporated in August 2018. We left our full comfy day jobs that fall, so late in Q4 2018.
Nice.
And Vigit the first product was launched to the Apple App Store just in time for the 2019 NFL season, which was September 5th, 2019. So we've been live, operational, acquiring users and generating revenue for roughly about 7 months, and we had great initial success. So we have over 15,000 total verified users. With right up until the quarantine, we were averaging 2,000 daily active users, with a 3% conversion rate with a customer acquisition cost of $5. And to date, we've generated over $100,000 of revenue on the platform.
Yeah.
So great initial success, and we're out raising this next tranche of money. We're raising $1.5 million to essentially pour gas on the fire. We've de-risked the tech. We've proven that we could generate revenue, and we're just looking to scale and continue to build new revenue streams.
So how do you, in this pandemic, obviously, I know football's coming back. I actually just heard football's probably coming back. Not sure about basketball. How are you dealing with that, right? So in terms of the pandemic right now, there's not many sports. I think there's like baseball in Korea or something. There's some sports happening.
Yep.
But how are you dealing with this right now? Because it's obviously you got to still gain users.
Yep.
Your investors and you want to still gain users. What are you doing around that?
So fortunately for us, we have a great culture at Vigit. So especially with our 3-man founding team, we came together and we were like, all right, hey, life happens. What do you do when it gives you lemons? You make lemonade. So we focused on putting one foot in front of the other and just making progress every day, not necessarily perfection. So we were like, all right, our sportsbook partners, most of them have casino arms. There is a silver lining in all this. People are confined to their homes, so they're going to be looking for any type of social engagement and also entertainment to distract them from all the negative headlines in the news and all the crazy things going outside their window. So what are they doing? They're turning to mobile apps. They're turning to social communities. So we fundamentally, from an engagement standpoint, we saw a heightened engagement from our users. We just needed a way to monetize it to offset the loss of sports betting. So we went to those sportsbook partners. We negotiated deals for their online casino products, and we had great success selling them online poker, online blackjack. We even recently signed up our first cryptocurrency partner. It's an exchange called eToro. And so what we've done is we've scaled back our initial marketing. So we're during the quarantine until sports return, we're not focused entirely on top line user growth, but cross-selling to our existing user base, and which ultimately actually increases their lifetime value as well. And we've had great success with it. We're pretty excited, and we see that there is this infinite cross-selling opportunity into the sports fan and demographic.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta pivot, right? I mean, like any software company, you know, when you have tough times, you gotta pivot. So that's interesting. So one idea I have is games. Actually, are you thinking about this, games in your, like, people love games, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable how much games, and everybody's at home. What do I do? Picking up their phone, they're playing games. So are there any games in Vigit, or like, are there games where you can like just maybe learn how to bet, maybe a simulation game, things like that?
So in short, yes. So we have our free-to-play games, which is, right now we have various pick'em style games. So let's take the NFL game, for instance. Each week you log in, we'll give you all 16 games, and then we'll show you the two teams who are playing each other. We'll give you the spread. So it'll be Eagles-Giants, -7, +7, and then just like Tinder or Bumble, you swipe left or swipe right, so it's interactive with the screen. Nice. And then you make your 16 picks, and we'll track that success, report it for you, and we'll compare you to all the other people who submitted an entry that week, and the top 3 places get a prize. And we also have our peer-to-peer sports game. So sitting here right now today, if there were events going on, I could send you a bet via the phone. You can accept it. We'll track who wins that sports betting pick, and then you will win what we're calling Vigit coins, that you can redeem for gift cards. That feature is going to be coming out in the very near future. We expect that in just another week or two. And then you can also have a bet tracker, where you say, hey, if I went and placed a bet with DraftKings, you log that bet into Vigit. We'll track that. We'll tell all your friends that you made that bet, and if you win it, we'll reward you points. And we'll also tell all your friends how good of a sports bettor you are because you won that bet with DraftKings.
Right, and I like it. I mean, so what I'm kind of hearing, which is spectacular, right? I'm hearing, we want to be the centralized place. If you're doing sports betting, we want to be the centralized place where you come.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's pretty amazing, right? I mean, because think about all these other places. DraftKings, there's other ones, right? They're competitors, right? I don't know if there's an underlying like community. Hey, this is where all the sports betting people come, right?
Yep. We're hoping to fill that void in the market, and there is absolute demand for both convenience and community in this space. And those are the 2 problems that we're ultimately solving at the end of the day.
So call to action. In the software business, we know what a call to action is. So I want everybody in my audience, I'm not trying to be like a drill sergeant, but everybody go out and download this app. I download it, Vigit, Vigit app. Right? So you just put it in, download it. There's free games. There's all sorts of things to do. So beyond that call to action, Wolf, can't call him Wolf yet. I'll call him Andy. How can people reach out to you? How can they find you? Right? If they want to connect with you, if they want to check out Vigit, how do they do that?
Yeah, so please feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, Facebook. You can email me at andrew@vigitapp.com. You can follow Vigit on any of our social channels. But the most effective way is to download the app, create an account, and we have a messaging system on the platform, just like you would on Facebook or Snapchat. And we make it a habit of using that as one of my primary modes of communications these days. So go on to Vigit, follow me, send me a direct message, and I will respond.
Nice, nice. So thanks a lot for coming to my show. Again, this is Tech Talks. Michael Bertoni. We go live every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. and excited to see you soon. Come on back to Tech Talks.